Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and we have some breaking news. It is this article came out at 12:53. It is now 13, so it's 1 o'clock now. It's now 1 o'clock. I was watching it tick over, so it's literally 7 minutes old. But Hamza Yousaf has been forced into making an absolute statement. That is to say, nothing he can go back and prevaricate on, nothing that he can later deny. He's given an assurance. He said something, and by saying it, he said something else. He's confirmed that Nicola Sturgeon will not withhold vital COVID information from the inquiry from her WhatsApps. Now, he said that, so he's put himself on the line. He doesn't like committing himself. No politician does, because things change so quickly. But he has now said it. He's committed himself to saying it. But what else he said, and we will go into it in a second, but what else he said is that he's just confirmed that Nicola Sturgeon has got COVID-related WhatsApps. Let's look at this article. It's not probably going to be a great deal of detail because it has literally just come up, but it's certainly worth looking at. So here we go. Boom. So, Hamza Yousaf forced to confirm that Nicola Sturgeon would not withhold vital COVID information from inquiry. The First Minister committed to his government sending unredacted correspondence to COVID inquiries under questioning from Scottish Labour leader Anna Sawar. Anna Sawar has just opened up a whole can of worms for the SNP. Well done, sir. Well done. Because he has now elicited that response from Hamza Yousaf, which means that if anything is redacted, Hamza Yousaf has just made himself out to be a liar, and so therefore there can be no redacted information. So Hamza Yousaf was forced to confirm that all members of his government, past and present, would not withhold their COVID WhatsApps and correspondence from the public inquiries and would submit them unredacted. This is astonishing that he would say that. The promise came as Nicola Sturgeon gave evidence to the UK-wide probe on Thursday. She's giving it right now. A row has already begun over what materials are needed by the officials carrying out the independent probes into the pandemic, with the former First Minister Council saying that she did not have any relevant informal correspondence. Quite clearly, a lie. Because there is no way you do not have information that is not held on official channels, even if it's only an email or that you've just jotted a note on the back of an envelope. You will have information that's relevant that you haven't submitted through official channels. Guarantee it, and it just is. And of course, she's been desperate not to have these WhatsApps come out. It's the same with the Westminster and the government there, and they've all been doing it. They've all been trying to get it redacted to get certain things taken out for the public good, they're saying. What they mean is to stop me going to prison. Anyway, we'll get back here. However, lawyers for the bereaved said that it should be up to inquiry officials to decide what was considered relevant. This could include private messages, emails or diaries regarding how the government handled COVID. Mr Yousaf was cornered by the Scottish Labour leader Anna Sawar at the First Minister's questions, as he pointed out that the public is losing trust in the SNP due to its culture of secrecy. It's always been secret, ever since it started up back in the days when it was basically an offshoot of the Germany's National Socialist Party, effectively. He was forced to commit to his government being open and transparent. That'll make a change, won't it? During the inquiry, and submitting all unredacted WhatsApps and correspondence from all officials, including the likes of Miss Sturgeon, Jean Freeman and John Swinney. This will make excellent reading, and they'll be able to spend a long time pondering it, hopefully, while they're sitting in their cells. Mr Sawar asked, "This is important for thousands of families who've lost a loved one, to NHS, to care staff and to everyone across Scotland who will be frustrated by the Scottish inquiry running behind, because we must learn the lessons of the pandemic. But the inquiry's conclusion will only be as good as the evidence received, and they are desperate to keep this evidence covered up, hidden and away from the cold light of public knowledge, because they know it will sink them. There's going to be, if it all comes out, I guarantee there will be people going to prison over some of the things, some of the decisions, and some of the things that have been said. And some of the actions they've taken, I think, undoubtedly will result in criminal charges. It's that bad. Anyway, you continue. Over the past few weeks, people have been horrified by the UK government's decision to withhold evidence from the UK inquiry. In Scotland, the Scottish inquiry issued do not destroy letters to public bodies, including the Scottish Government, last August. It made clear that all documents, including emails, texts or WhatsApp messages, should be retained, and that any destruction of these messages is a criminal offence. So can the First Minister confirm that all ministers and officials, past and present, have complied with the do not destroy instruction? And will he give me a guarantee that all requested emails, texts or WhatsApp messages will be handed over in full to the inquiry? And that must have frightened the crap out of Humza Yousaf. But what's he to do? Say no and be part of a conspiracy, part of a cover-up, part of keeping the truth from people? He couldn't say no, and he didn't. Mr. Yousaf committed to just that, leaving Mr. Sawa a bit taken aback. He said, yes, they will. Of course it is important that I abide by the rules of the UK public inquiry and the Scottish public inquiry. It is a matter for the independent inquiry chairs to make decisions as to what material they request from the Scottish Government, or indeed from other participants, that both inquiries have taken the decision not to publish details of the requests they're making to participants. In other words, they're asking for everything in full, but they're not telling anyone outside of their little clique what they're requesting. It really should be open. It really should be. This is what we're asking from these people. We need to know what they're being asked for and whether they have complied with that request. That is as important as any other part of these inquiries. Anyway, he said, of course, the Scottish Government will comply with the request, but to ensure that there's simply no doubt whatsoever that any material that is asked for, WhatsApp messages, whether email, Signal or Telegram, whatever is asked for or requested, will be handed over to the COVID inquiries and handed over in full. That is astonishing that he would say that. He will put people in jail with that sentence. Mr. Sawar described this revelation as really significant. It cannot be overstated how important what Humza Yousaf has just committed to is. And as you pointed out, that this transparency is at least the least the grieving families can expect, as the SNP government is famed for a culture of secrecy and cover-up. And he asked Mr. Yousaf to confirm in writing what he has said in the Holyrood chamber. The First Minister agreed to do this, to outline how they have complied with various guidelines, and said that he will communicate as openly and transparently as possible. He claimed his government is transparent and will continue to be so. Are you kidding me? Never in a million years is his government transparent, nor will it continue to be so. But for him there to say that statement, to say that he will comply and give over all information in full and unredacted, is truly astonishing. And there will be people today sitting looking at their phones going, should I delete this? Because if I don't, I go to jail. That is how serious this is. And they should bring a law in. They absolutely must bring a law in that all communications from officials, MPs, MSPs, councillors, anyone in a public position must not use private messaging of any sort. They must not use WhatsApp or Telegram or emails. They must always use official methods. Now, if that means that there is an official governmental WhatsApp, that's fine. Use the WhatsApp, but have an official governmental one so that everything that goes through WhatsApp can be recorded, is on record, is not a private messaging. It's the only way that this will work. And you've got to put a very serious sentence. First offence, 5 years in prison. Second offence, lifetime in prison. It's got to be that serious. It's the only way we're going to stop them doing it. All communications have got to be a matter of public record. Anyway, I shall round off and come up. Now, I would love, absolutely love, to know that every single WhatsApp will be released. Someone will take time and effort to go through them, to read them, to publish them. They need to be published. They need to be out in the public gaze, under the spotlight of scrutiny, and where the truth will not be hidden or spun or put into context or anything. It's just there for all to see. And if, and it's a big if, I know, but if the decision was made deliberately to put COVID victims into care homes, old people's homes and things like that, and they did so knowingly that would probably take out a few oldie people, that's what we're waiting for. That is what we are waiting to hear. That it was a deliberate decision. I've been told it was a deliberate decision. Somebody told me that. Said he can't prove it. He said don't take his word for it because it has to come out. He says, but he's said that it was a deliberate decision. This is someone who I can take his word. I'll put it that way. I will take his word because I can't tell you anything more about him. That's it. But he says it was a deliberate decision. But having that, there's no proof, and therefore, nothing there. But if it comes out in the WhatsApps that this actually is what was said, and they said deliberately put these people into care homes, people are going to jail. Now, people are going to jail for a very long time. It could end the SNP. All our dreams come true. Not just no more SNP, but all those bastards in jail. Anyway, I shall round off there with that little bit of hope in our heart, and I will finish the video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you like this video. Do please hit that like button. Do hit the subscribe button. That's very important too. Just from something that one of my very good viewers said earlier today, he appears that there's something a bit shady going on with YouTube at the moment. Certain subjects are being downplayed. And so some of the videos, it looks like almost they're being, they're not put out because of the subject matter. Some videos aren't going out as much as normal. We're starting to see that. So it's very important that if you want to get them, do hit the subscribe button because, like I say, YouTube get a bit shady on some issues. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like that, that's brilliant. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and keep watching this space because more truth will come out. Enough, hopefully, to end those buggers. Goodbye.